Hey internets, it's Jake from Mini Terrain Domain, and this is Skymetal, Iron Gods. This is Chapter 1, The Fires of Creation. Welcome to Part 2. It's just called Part 2. I'm saying welcome to Part 2. This is our every other Tuesday game. So, although it has been a couple of other Tuesdays since we played, but if you would like to get caught up on what's happened in our first session, you can head over to youtube.com/mini terrain domain, where all of our VODs are usually up there within a week of the game being played. So you can check that out and get caught up because there's only one episode so far. So, a couple of real quick announcements before we start playing. Since I see that we've got a couple of subscriptions already, it's a good time to point up above my head here where you can see this mysterious vial, which is a domain dice for this particular game. We are calling them domain relics. By subscribing, gifting a sub, resubbing, cheering, tipping, all those good things can earn us, the players, domain dice or domain relics that we can use to re-roll a check using the new result, or we can avoid death for 3 of those domain relics. We can also use 5 of them to change fate, adjusting the success level of any check up or down 1 degree, essentially using these as modified hero points. And of course, the only way we can get those is through those methods mentioned above, which I owe us 1, 2, 3, and they are not working for some reason. So I will see what I can do to fix that, because for whatever reason the animation's not playing. So I will make that work. We owe ourselves 3 of those. We do have besides this game, we have a couple other games that happen. You can check !schedule to see what all other games, what days of the week we have happening. Here we've got games on Mondays, every other Tuesday, 1 Wednesday a month, and every Thursday. So be sure to check those out. If you're not already following the channel, please consider clicking that button and turn your notifications on so you'll be notified when we go live. The last thing I want to say before I turn it over to our Dungeon Master, Vi, is just a reminder that you matter. Your presence on this earth makes a difference, whether or not you believe that it is true. We say it before every game because it is important. We want you to know that it is okay to not be okay. Everybody struggles for various reason. Whatever the reason may be, it's okay. But you do not have to struggle alone. At any time, you can come into the chat and type !help. That'll bring up a couple of URLs. Check out findahelpline.com, or you can head over to takethis.org and check out their growing list of resources. We encourage you to check out those websites, bookmark them, save them for yourself, save them for a friend, and remember, you matter. With that, I'm going to turn things over to our Game Master, Vi.
Thanks, Jake. Let's just get to business then. Last time on Skymetal, you were tasked with discovering why the fires of Torch have gone out. And your discoveries in the town have led you here to caves beneath the city of Torch. You've traversed the strange, unpleasant, stinky waters to find an underground cavern below the city. And here, in the darkness, 2 of you were dazzled and blinded by a trio of flash beetles And that is where we left off last session, and where we're picking up right now with a good old-fashioned initiative roll.
Oh boy.
Can I get everyone's initiative, please?
Right off the bat.
Right off the bat.
Right, I'm just gonna roll. Let me find character. That is perception,
Mhm.
which is where's perception on this sheet? There it is. We're so quiet because we're all putting them in the chat.
All right, so then it goes right off the bat. These beetles are the first to act. They scuttle down the walls, across the floor, across the ceiling. Their lights on their abdomen dimming after that burst of light. They scuttle down to make some attacks upon the party. Dexter, you're going to be attacked by one of the beetles. It'll be making 2 attacks against you. It'll be using all 3 of its attacks against you, actually.
Wonderful.
The first is a 16 to hit.
That is going to miss. I'm able to dodge out of the way of that one.
The second is a 17 to hit.
But I dodge right into that second hit.
And the third one is a 6. So 1 hit. You'll take 4 points of piercing damage from the first flash beetle. The second flash beetle as well scuttles, leaping at you, slashing at you with their mandibles. The first hit, a 14, which misses. Second hit, an 11, which misses. And the third hit, a 12, which also misses. The third of these beetles scuttles towards you, Gideon, using one of his actions to shift towards you. With 2 actions remaining, it's going to do 2 bites on you with its mandibles. Gideon, it's going to be a 15 to hit, and then a natural 1, which is a critical failure to hit.
Obey.
Which means, what happens on a critical failure? Absolutely nothing, huh?
Nothing unless you want to roll in the.
Nope.
Yeah.
All right.
I have a critical fumble deck.
That's usually, yeah.
Is it set up and ready to go?
It's just literally a deck of cards.
You know what? Let's use it. All right. This
I will
flash beetle.
I will just randomly grab. It was a critical fail, correct?
Yep.
Mhm.
What type of attack? I'll tell you what the categories are as soon as I open this deck. This will be in the future fully functional as a on-screen randomized effect for crits. I just don't have it there yet. So random pull. Is it melee, ranged, unarmed, or spell?
It's melee. Melee
weapon problem. If the attack used a projectile weapon, something on the weapon malfunctions, requiring you to spend 2 interactions to fix. Oh wait, sorry.
What does it say?
I misread that. That was ranged. Better to give. You hit yourself instead of the target, is what it says.
How about unarmed?
Unarmed would be you are slowed 1 until the end of your next turn.
That's probably going to be the one. Where is it like bites at you with the mandibles? It's going to bite onto some rock at your feet. It scuttles away, and they kind of like slowing itself from the shock of that. So it's going to be slow to 1.
Which means it will lose 1 of its actions.
Awesome. All right, Dexter, it is your turn.
As I get hit, I look over. I imagine looking over at Gideon. I'm not supposed to be the one getting hit. And implying that you are the one that is supposed to be getting hit. And I will draw my short sword. Let me double check this real quick. Okay. Yeah, I'm just going to, since they're right in my face, I'm just going to attack with the short sword. That is a natural 20.
Ooh, a critical success.
So that is a total. Where's my to hit? +5. So that's a 25 to hit.
Yep, that'd be a critical success.
Fantastic. So that's I do have a crit hit deck if you want me to use it. Otherwise, it's double damage. Right?
Now let's go for the crit hit deck. Start things off fresh.
All right, and I will just randomly pull a card. This one divides them separately. This is slashing. No, it's piercing because of the short sword. Right in the ear, normal damage. The target is deafened until healed.
Ooh.
So the target becomes deafened, and I do normal damage, which means it's going to take Ooh, 7.
That is enough to slay it outright.
Oh,
As it hisses, squirting its beetle juices from the stab wound, its mandibles. As it kind of flops over onto its back, legs curling.
wait. Are there 3 of these things?
Yes, that was one of them.
I was referring to the Beetlejuice.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also not supposed to be hitting things as much. Again, looking at Gideon. Basically, this is my android, not even supposed to be here today. Oh, I still have 2 actions, don't I? I guess I will go ahead and, with the suddenness of this, I'm just going to attack it. Is there one right next to me?
Yep,
Sorry,
there's
I'm
a
not
second
looking
one
at
in
my other screen. Yeah, I'll attack the one that's off to the right that hasn't moved into anybody yet. Let's see. So that's going to be an 18, but that's +5, but it's also -5, so it's just an 18.
18 hits.
Okay. That's another 7.
Ooh, this one also squeals as you stab it thoroughly, killing it.
I may be in line for a promotion, Gideon. I'm going to roll with a -10 to hit the third one. It's in range, correct?
Yep.
That would be a -2 to hit.
That'll be a critical fumble.
Oh no.
So you get to pull from your own deck then now too.
Okay. Random card pulled, and that was a melee attack. Oh no. Clip to your hand. Take 1d8 persistent bleed damage.
Ooh.
This is what I get for trying to show off. That'll be 2.
Right, as your hand slips, slicing yourself. Gideon, it is your turn. You are dazzled, which means anything done to these foes around you, you have a flat 5 in 20 chance of failing to do. As is the dazzled condition. So what would you like to do on your turn here?
Okay. So sorry, can you say that again? What is
Okay, so you are dazzled, which means that things, creatures, and objects are concealed from you. If you are, if you're trying to target them with an attack, a spell, or other effect, you have to make a DC 5 flat check, and if you fail, it automatically fails.
Okay. Cool. Dexter, I'm hearing a lot of complaining. I'm not hearing a lot of dying going on as he is going to try and hit one of these things.
Yeah, you'll have
I'm
to
just going to look
roll
at you
a
incredulously,
flat
like
20.
at the two dead bodies.
He can't see, so
Oh,
he's
that's
just
right.
guessing. He's just assuming.
What are you,
that
blind?
you're complaining. Yes.
All right, so as
Um,
you attack, do that straight up d20 roll. See if you can beat a DC 5 check.
yeah, I can.
Nice. You can make your attack roll as normal then.
Hey. Whew, 19.
That hits.
That would be 11 points.
Third beetle dies with your weapon. What kind of weapon do you have?
Of a bastard sword.
With a great swing of your bastard sword, you bite into its chitin, its carapace, probably cutting it straight in half with a big hew of the weapon.
Ah, you see, Dexter? That's how you do it. Take notes.
I choose not to say anything. I say.
Now that initiative is over, you get a sense to get you get the time to get a sense of your surroundings and your bearing. Here, this entry point to this cavern has shallow water. These sticky, moist walls that drip with slime from the moisture in the air. To the right of you, you can see this 5-foot tall ledge that on it support several stalagmites that continue to rise down an unseen corridor. As well as the cavern continues further to the north through the water. The water itself is very shallow, less than 2 feet at its deepest. The air here smells of molds and vinegar. It is bitter and stinky. And the only light in this place is the light that you're bringing. What would you like to do?
Inanisara would like to throw up. I am currently sickened. I would like to retch and hopefully use it as an attempt to recover from the sickness.
That lets you make a fortitude save, right?
Yeah.
You can go ahead and do so.
Fortitude. Where is that? Fortitude. Oh, there it is. Okay. Fortitude. Boom. Oh, yeah. She's not having a great time. That's a total of 6.
Nope, you are still sickened.
Yeah. But now I'm hungry. So I have nothing in my tummy.
I am going to take persistent damage. Oh no. I have to first take the persistent damage, which is 8. And I look very pale, which for me means the illumination that you see running through the subsurface, running through my veins, has grown very dim and is moving very slowly as I look around and say, I'm not feeling so well. I have to make a DC 15 flat check, I think, to overcome persistent damage. I just looked it up. I've already forgotten if it's a flat check. Persistent damage. Persistent. Yeah, it was 621. It's yeah, flat DC 15. That's an 18. So I am able to stop the bleeding. And I imagine just sort of leaning against, I step over to where one of these slick, moist walls are. And with a kind of a squelching sound, lean against it and slide down to the ground, sort of a. I don't feel so well.
So what does the rest of the party do at this? Seeing their companion slumping from injury.
I think Inanisara is actually too sick herself to kind of really understand what's going on, because I don't believe she can. She's still dazzled. She still can't see, so she doesn't know what's going on. She feels sick. This is the opposite of a fun time. I'm not sure why we're here.
I imagine that Gideon probably runs into Dexter.
Ow.
Dexter, are you okay?
Down here. I am
Yeah,
not.
you see as he like lowers his hand down.
I suddenly sound like Marvin from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I'm down here. I'm not feeling so well. I'm going to need a moment.
I had no idea you could not feel well. What is that like? Do you have a stomach?
It's less about an upset stomach and more about everything is moving slowly.
He nods, but doesn't understand.
You just hear like the pitter patter of Pex'alily as she comes running over, and she looks up at you, Gideon, and she goes, he got hurt, and he's not doing too great over here. Can you even see me right now?
You can see Gideon is like, I imagine his eyes are like
there's stars in there.
yeah, there's something in there. But he looks to you. Yeah, it'll go away. It's not the first time this has happened. It's fine.
Am I gonna have to treat all y'all like my little brothers and sisters? Are we gonna have to like have somebody hold my tail and then we all hold hands?
No. That won't be necessary. Right, Dex? We're fine. He like nudges Dexter.
You probably can't see it as I hold up a very feeble thumbs up. One eyelid is sort of.
Dex, it's okay. I'm gonna go get. I can never say her name right, so I'm gonna call her Nani. So I'm gonna call her. Sounds like my nana. So she's gonna go run and get. I am gonna like butcher your name, so I apologize, Kaeryn. Because every time I say it in my noggin, it never sounds right.
Part of it is literally your name.
Yes, part of it is literally my name. So I'm gonna try and get Kieran's character. It's Inanisara, right? Okay, Inanisara. She's gonna go get Inanisara, and very gently, because I assume that she can tell that Inanisara doesn't look too hot either. She's gonna kind of very gently guide her over to the other two. Like, why am I the only one who's doing okay here?
See, this is why we brought you along.
Thanks. I'm glad I'm the one that has to basically mother hen y'all. I don't like this.
I'm not
How long does
particularly
dazzled
fond of
last?
this either.
It'll last 1 minute, so it'll be ending very shortly.
Yeah, so I imagine that, after a few more blinks, Gideon can begin to see properly, and he actually looks at Dexter and is like, "Oh, you don't look too good."
That's what I've been trying to tell you.
Is it dark here now that the beetles are gone?
Yeah, they were the only quote unquote natural light source. So the only illumination is whatever you're bringing with you, which I believe one of you is providing light. Yes.
Well, I will if because I don't think we had time to light anything. I know Pex'alily can see, but
I have torches too. Pex'alily probably would have tried to light a torch.
yeah, I'm thinking like as soon as Inanisara's vision comes back and she realizes I'm actually still blind because I can't see, she would cast dancing lights. Which is one of my curse-bound spells.
So you can go ahead and describe what dancing lights looks like for us.
So in this case, she casts, she says the words and uses her hands, and all of a sudden there's like these lights start coming around. I believe that there's 4 of them. So she'll have one kind of by each of us. But when you kind of look at them, they're not like just like balls of light. They're more like swirling little, if you will, mini galaxies. If you look like closely at them, as the like stars inside just kind of swirl amongst themselves. That's better. And I think what happens with Inanisara at the same time, I have to look this up. Whatever the minor effect is. Not sure where that is listed. Sorry, still learning.
As you bring light to this place, a certain detail is revealed to the 4 of you. Along the banks of this cavern, there appears to be these sections of what looks like ash and soot that's kind of mixed in with the moisture and dampness of this environment. In little patches, dotting the shoreline of this cave.
Imagine just reaching down where I'm sitting on the ground and just sort of running my hand along it and coming up with this ashy sort of residue. Interesting. I have a feature called Expeditious Inspection. That once per 10 minutes I can observe and assess surroundings with great speed. I can use a recall knowledge, seek, or sense motive. I would like to attempt a recall knowledge on this ash. See if I can learn more about this.
Yeah. Do you have what kind of lore skills do you have?
Let's see. I have lore Torchtown.
That will not be sufficient, so this will be a straight up intelligence roll then.
There are yeah, okay, that's fine.
Or I guess sorry, there's nature or like nature and arcana, are they considered lore skills?
So recall knowledge has depending on what it is, every skill can be used for a recall knowledge.
Okay, so yeah, I was
But
remembering.
and nature is one of them.
Yeah, okay. Nature will definitely work.
Okay.
If you have nature,
I am untrained in nature, so straight intelligence.
Yep.
We'll get there eventually. Oh, that's an 18 +3, so 21.
you can tell by the fibers in the residue that some kind of mold was burned here. And you recall the one of the counselors speaking of previous teams going into these caves. Perhaps it was one of them that burned them.
Others have passed here before us, and they have cleared the way of some sort of mold obstacle.
As soon as he mentions mold, can I use my lore xenobiology trait thing?
Sure. Give me a recall knowledge.
18.
There seems to be nothing xenobiological about these molds. They don't ring any bells for you. You don't know what they are, nor can you identify them.
It should be sufficient enough for us to know that they have gone this way. I should be okay. And I start to stand up. We should continue to investigate.
I think seeing that you're like faulty and like stuttering and such, she would just hand out, give you a vial. This might help. And she would pass you a healing potion.
Are you sure that you don't need this?
You seem to need it more than I. And without you, we'll just have Gideon. And Pex'alily.
What is a healing
Pex'alily
potion?
Pex'alily can handle herself, but
You see Gideon just like poking at something on the wall.
I tried to tell Gideon, this is why I don't go to the front line.
Is there anything on the wall you're specifically poking at, Gideon?
Hmm.
You just smearing the mildew on your finger.
Just generally just like trying to see what else like yeah, if there's just anything else of note, because he's looking for something that the other teams have missed, because that's what he's convinced happened, is they missed something, so he's looking for that.
You can give me a perception or a survival roll here, please.
Okay, I will.
Pex'alily just watching Gideon like, I'm just waiting for him to lick it.
Oh my gosh. I rolled 1 hit point, recovered, by the way.
Sad face.
I rolled a 22.
Yeah, Kaeryn, can you put the radius of your light into the chat? So what you see, Gideon, is as you're kind of like scanning the wall, scanning this area, you see, looking for signs of previous people's passage and things they may have missed. There seems to be footmarks and signs of passage on this ledge. You can see that some of the stones are loose. They've been dislodged from the from the sheer face.
Like a ledge above him?
Like this ledge that's to this rightish area here. That's right here. This 5-foot ledge on this map here.
Oh.
There's like evidence of people climbing it. And if you kind of give a bit more of a gander, you can see that it's a long passageway. 20 feet-ish, probably. I'm gonna say 20 feet-ish. A long tunnelway filled with these stalagmites that rise from the ground. As well as you can see, just at the very edge of the light, there seems to be some kind of object slumped up against one of the pillars, against one of the stalagmites. It doesn't seem like a rock or a stone, but you can't quite make out the details.
Can he get closer?
You can certainly just try to climb up this ledge if you wish, because you're already pretty close.
He's gonna
like a
look
5-foot
at
ledge. It's like kind of like
Yeah.
chest height. So you have to just all you have to do is hoist yourself up.
Yeah, he's gonna look and see if anyone else is even paying attention. Even if they're not, I'm just gonna check something over here. And he's just gonna like scrabble up. And
Pex'alily
Right,
looking
I'll need you to make
over.
an athletics roll for me, please.
What are you doing?
there's something up here.
Understand you're tall, but do you need like a boost?
I rolled a 15.
All right, you're able to climb up, no issue, despite the kind of the slimy and slippery nature of the cave. You're able to get up onto this ledge and into the passageway. Of course, you can't really see much farther than the edge of the dancing lights, which is where where the cutoff point of the vision is right now. But you see, as you get closer, there's definitely what appears to be a body slumped up against that far distant stalagmite.
How decayed does this body look?
You can't tell the details from here. You'll have to get closer.
Oh, I don't like that.
You just hear Pex'alily. What do you see?
The cave is too rancid already to make even any smell, to do any kind of smell test.
Yeah. You hear Gideon call back. I think it's a body.
Gideon,
This just gets better and better.
God damn it.
I'm entering the cave, serving in the front lines, and now you're investigating the crime scene. I'm gonna scramble up the ledge after Gideon.
Don't hurt yourself again.
I will be fine.
Yeah, you sure sound like it.
Was that an athletics check to get up
Yep,
the?
athletics to climb up the ledge.
Whoops.
I have a climbing kit. Can I?
That is a 12.
That is enough to pass. Yep.
Unless somebody helps Pex'alily up like a tiny child.
Your climbing kit will make this task trivial to do, if
Yeah.
you choose to do so.
I figured it would make it pretty trivial to do.
But Dex, you're able to make it up top the ledge as well, alongside Gideon. And you see the same body slumped up against the distant stalagmite that Gideon sees. The body is not facing you. You kind of just have like a weird over-the-shoulder, obscured by the stalagmite kind of view. Just enough to see like a shoulder, an arm, and a leg at the edge of your vision here. Enough to identify that this is probably a person and probably not alive.
I am
Could be one
going.
of the previous adventuring party.
I am going to use my pursue a lead which lets me once every 10 minutes spend 1 minute examining the details of a potential clue. And then whenever I attempt a perception skill or check to investigate something that's related to this, it gives me an additional +1 bonus to the check. That's all it does. But it's part of my role as an investigator. As I walk up past Gideon, let me take a good closer look. It is my job, after all.
You see Gideon just
I'm going to do just the classic crime scene detective thing, just kind of looking around, crouching, reaching in, pulling out like a pencil or something and just nudging at something as I'm going to spend a minute investigating this body, seeing what I can find out.
How close to the body do you get?
Right up next to it.
Yeah, awesome. At the edge of the light here. But as you investigate this body, you can
A light
go
would
ahead.
go with him just as well, right?
Okay.
Because I can move the lights as long as they stay within 10 feet of each other. They can go up to 120 feet from me.
Okay,
nice.
so let's carve out another section of here then for me.
I also have low light vision if it matters.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That'll give you enough to see this. You get to see a familiar face. You automatically pass the Torch lore check because of your time spent in Torch. It is a trivial task for you. This individual is named Parda Gar. She's someone you've met before in the town of Torch. She's a half-orc brawler, someone who's had a bit of a rough life, but always a good-hearted person. You remember seeing her kind of decline a bit when she got into a rougher sort of crowd. She'd been one of the volunteer adventuring teams a few days prior that went missing. Here is her fate. She is slumped here, dead on the ground. Make for me, please, a perception or a medicine check, please.
I will do a perception with the... That's 21.
You see that she died, you can tell by the blood, by multiple stab wounds in her guts, kind of her chestish area, her arm, by some kind of short-bladed weapon.
Again, emulating sort of a classic investigator, I will stand up with a deep sigh, turning to Gideon and saying loud enough for the others to hear me. I know her. Ardagar. She's seen better days. Hanging with the wrong group of people who apparently got her killed. Multiple stab wounds in the chest, abdomen, and even in the back from the looks of it. She was a volunteer adventurer. And this is her fate. Be careful, Gideon. This could be you.
thanks, Dex.
As a little more of my blood / life fluid, that little faint trace of bioluminescence drips from that previous wound, just sort of bloop. We should be careful. this is the sorry, that was me stuttering. That wasn't in character. So this tunnel does still go onward.
It does continue to go onward still, yes.
I would
Do we
also
see
go
sorry.
ahead.
do we see steps like because you said we saw steps leading up the ledge? Do we see them continuing on past the body?
You can make for me a perception or a survival roll. It's a bit more difficult to see here because the signs of passage aren't as easy to see, other than like a cliff face, but you can certainly try.
20.
Because I've clued you in, you get a +1 bonus to
Ooh.
checks for the next 10 minutes.
So 21.
That's part of my feature.
There is a lot of foot traffic going through this area to the east. Not much going westward, back out. As in, you imagine, and you can probably see Parda here. She's the one who got the farthest to get back out.
Hmm.
Mm.
She definitely was fleeing something, you can tell too, by the hastiness of the steps.
I'm not really sure we want to go this way. You know, I heard there was like a proverb or something about taking the path less traveled. I think I read it somewhere.
If that's the case, we wouldn't be here. Because how many parties have gone before us? 2, 3? A party is at least 2 to 3 people.
And I mean, which way would we be going at this point? There is no other way but the water.
I believe that may be what Gideon is referring to. Gideon may have a
wants-
point.
I don't think you should be going back in the water, good buddy.
I am waterproof.
Yeah, but you also have can I like wrap that thing up on you, you know, just to stop it from leaking anymore?
The leaking has stopped. Inanisara
want-
provided me with a healing tonic.
I know. I don't want anything getting in either.
I am not as prone to infections as
I'm not really talking about infection, just anything. Water gets in there, it kind of fills up, and we can't understand you because you just sound like you're garbly.
I will have to recalibrate when we take time to rest.
Yeah.
I will be fine. It is a minor side effect. Besides, I will be fine.
Fine. I don't think we should take the water again. I don't want to get wetter.
I don't know. I bet you that is what all of these, and he like gestures to like all the footprints who are going that way. I think that's what they thought too.
I am inclined to agree with Gideon. I think the water may be our best hope at avoiding this fate.
Are we sure that it was something that wasn't her own party that attacked her? Maybe somebody jealous and wanting the gold for themselves?
Then where are they? Gideon.
Exactly.
He looks down. Are there even any steps that come back, or did Gideon not see any steps that came back?
Hers are the farthest. I have returned.
he would point that out. I don't see any steps that come back.
Did you really expect to, though, Gideon, knowing that no one has yet come back? That's why we're going.
Well, no, but if you think about it, this is the way that we maybe shouldn't be going. We found the danger. Here it is. It is that way. He says, like, as he like gestures to, like, down this corridor.
Perhaps we compromise. Perhaps we split up.
Well, I don't want to go back in the water if I don't have to. Not until we are ready to go. That water is foul, it's nasty, and I'm not doing it.
I'm
One team
with you,
One
Gideon.
team did come back. Okay. Listen, all I'm saying is that I don't think it's a good idea to head right into a path that is very clearly marked as do not go this way.
Well,
I think we should look around, see what else there is, maybe not go too far, maybe get an idea of the area. Maybe if you and
I will let
Right.
you check out the water. If you can find us a nice exit, let us know and I will join you.
here, we'll each go, or we'll both go, not too far, just a little bit, just to see what there is. Be quiet. I think Gideon kind of hops down from the ledge that he's on.
And I will follow.
So, Gideon goes north, I've heard.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
And I will go where Gideon goes.
And I will sit here on this beach, feeling not well and waiting.
Pex'alily will follow Dexter and Gideon to like the very edge of the beach, and she'll watch them kind of go in the water, but she's not gonna follow after they get into the water. She's just gonna watch them go, so that way she can still see Inanisara, and then she can watch them as well for a little bit at least.
And unfortunately, the lights are going to stay around my area. I'll put them out kind of where the edge of the beach there will be, maybe the grouping of them, enough that I'm still kind of in the light a little bit. And then they'll just kind of congregate there until they come back, because I'll hold them there so they can see how to return. But at this point, that's all she's doing.
Seems you're responsible for your own life now, then, Gideon and Dexter. You light a
Great.
torch.
Yeah.
You light a torch, hold it aloft, the flame burning, providing you
Can I
the visibility.
hold it in a little I have mage hand, sorry, I'm just reading it. Can I hold a torch above us and have it follow me?
Probably. All I have to do is sustain it, the spell,
Yeah.
which means that you'll just have one less action per round if you get into any kind of danger.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just sustain the spell. So
Yep.
hands free, you have the torch that follows alongside you. You can go ahead and move your character as you wish to proceed into this cave.
How deep is the water? Sorry.
It's shallow. It goes up to your knees at the deepest, about 2 feet.
Okay.
You see a shallow creek runs through the middle of this cavern, while to the south, a stony bank rises up from the water. Thick carpets of green and gray molds and fungus grow on the bank, particularly around a trio of 3-foot-high, foul-smelling mounds. This is where the massive stench of this cave is coming from. It is noxious and vile and just overwhelming in this section of the cave. I think you can see this fine, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Based on previous evidence, Gideon, I'm saying this very quietly next to Gideon. Based on previous evidence, Gideon, our predecessors have burned this mold. Perhaps we should do the same. And I will pull out my own torch. Light it.
Yeah. I think that's a good idea, but maybe we should stand back before we light.
So
Light it
as
on
Gideon
fire.
says that's a good idea, I throw the torch
As
onto
you
that
throw-
first mound.
You throw the torch onto the first mound, and it begins to smoke and hiss and smolder. And roll initiative, please, as the mold moves away from
It's
the
only
flame,
slightly better than what I thought it was going to do, which was explode.
going towards you.
Uh,
Oh
I'll put you all in grids.
boy.
Do you want us to roll initiative too? Those of us
Yep.
that are not seeing it?
Yep.
Okay.
Because you'll be probably called to action for sure by the commotion.
Let's see.
Mhm.
Perception. Okay.
Okay, so this goes molds. 22 is Dexter. Pex'alily. Yeah. All right. Dexter, it is your go. You've just launched the torch into the mold as it begins to smolder and begins to catch flame. The flames will catch at the start of the mold's turn, but here you have a full complement of actions you may wish to use however you wish.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but equipping a weapon is an action, correct?
That's yes. Yeah.
So it takes an action for me to draw my crossbow.
Mhm.
My second action will be to use my devise a stratagem, which allows me to devising a stratagem will allow me to pre-roll a d20. I'm just checking if that's so. I guess I'm gonna have to draw my sword, not my crossbow. I want to make sure I'm using this feature right. So I'm gonna draw the crossbow. Can I switch that up? Is that okay?
Mhm.
Okay. So I'm gonna draw the sword, devise a stratagem, which is I'm gonna pre-roll a number, which is an 18, which means I have to use that if I choose to attack. Because I devised a stratagem, it lets me use that, add my intelligence roll and my strength roll to the attack for my third action. So that is a +5 +8. So that would be a 26 to hit.
So that would be a critical hit. However, because this creature has the ooze trait, it is immune to critical hits.
Oh, okay. So
So you're
it'll
going
still
to
be a
use
straight up
roll
hit.
normal damage. Yep.
Okay. But because I used devised stratagem, I get to use my precision, so I get an additional d6 for the precision attack. So that's going to be a total.
It is also immune to precision damage.
Is it really?
It is really immune to precision damage. Yes.
Oh no. And I think you would actually hear Gideon Dexter say, "Oh no," as I plunge my sword into this ooze for 4 points of piercing damage. Yeah.
All right. That will bring us to Pex'alily. You hear the commotion. I'm going to put you inside a square. There you go. You hear the commotion as Dexter calls out, "Oh no!" after stabbing. I guess you'll have to have moved up to be able to stab it as well.
Oh.
Dexter.
If I had the move, I wouldn't be able to attack it then. Because that would be my third pack.
We could just say that like you and Gideon were like standing abreast when you tossed in the torch.
Okay.
Okay, so Pex'alily, it is your turn.
Oh, Pex'alily hears the oh no, and she's like, God damn it. Sweetheart, Inanisara, I think they're in trouble. I think we need to do something here. And you just see Pex'alily, like she takes her hand cannon out, and that'll be her first action is to get her weapon. She had already previously loaded it from the fight above. And then she is going to move. Oh, this is going to be difficult because there isn't a whole lot of space, but we're going to move her right there. We'll put her inside a square. So she can kind of see what's happening. And third action. I could try to hit it. If I tried to shoot, because Dexter and Gideon are so close together, quote unquote.
Shooting through allies.
I was gonna say, should I roll it like a disadvantage?
It provides they get granted cover if you do so.
They grant cover
Yes.
for the thing.
Yeah, your allies are granting cover, but you're able to shoot through them.
Okay.
Like you can shoot past your allies, but
Yeah.
your foe will have cover.
Okay. So, okay, why not? Let's give it a try. So let's see what that is. It's gonna be a 20.
That's going to be a critical hit. That gets turned into a normal hit because these things are immune.
Yeah,
to
they're immune to the critical hit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's fine. For a total of 7 damage.
Against this
And
first one.
that's my third action, so that's all she can do right now.
All right. Gideon, it is your turn.
I have 2 actions now because
Because you're holding the handle aloft.
All right, Gideon wants to get away from Dex, and so he wants to go here so that he's only adjacent to the slime molds. Because
Currently you're only adjacent to one of the slime molds if you do that.
yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So if you want to move here, you can be adjacent to both of them, but you'll be standing in the mold, which is probably not
Yeah.
the thing you want to do. Darn.
And you
Almost tricked
you see him like fiddling with his sword for a second. He like takes it and he's like, and you can see that things are a little bit waterlogged. So he's like, because you can see that actually the handle is a lot more it's not solid, it's, I forget the word, modular. That's the word. As he's like taking off like different pieces and you see like little bits of water like fall into the river. He's like, ah, shit. And he's like trying to like, he's like, ah, okay. And he like clicks something in place. And then all of a sudden the sword, you hear this this echoing like clang of metal as he casts echoing weapon on his weapon. And that's going to use up 2 actions. And at the end of his turn, the creature that is adjacent to him it does nothing, actually, yet. But it will do something cool next time. So that's what he does.
All right. We move then to the beginning of the mold's turn. The mold indicated 1 here that is on fire. Finishes its conflagration as the fire catches. You can roll a d4 for me, Jake, for the fire damage.
4.
Max damage. This burns the rest of the mold away, revealing a small slumped figure beneath what remains of some of the mold here in this patch. But as you do this, the other ones slime and scuttle forward, using one of their actions to move, even sliding into the tepid water. It's going to attack Gideon. They can each get an attack twice because they have 2 actions remaining. So Gideon, that's going to be an 18 to hit, and then a natural 1 to hit, which is a critical failure.
Great.
That's going to do 4 points of bludgeoning damage to you from their pseudopod for the first hit. Then Jake can give me an unarmed critical fumble.
Overthink it. Your target gains a +2 circumstance bonus to AC against attacks you make against it until the end of your next turn.
Ooh.
So that would be Gideon gets a +2 circumstance bonus.
The second slime mold also pseudopods against you, Gideon. For a
Do I have
15
that
to
plus-
hit. I believe it's
doesn't-
only against this particular enemy, I believe, is what the card read,
Yeah,
right?
okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
So 15 to hit is a miss, I believe, right?
Mhm.
And then the last attack is also another critical fumble.
Oh,
For a total of
Yeah.
0 on the attack roll. Give me another fumble check. Please.
unarmed.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. That's going to be upset stomach. You are sickened 2. It finds Gideon unpalatable.
I imagine that between that and the flames is causing it to be. Oh, I put unpalatable as a condition here on my paper. Sickened 2.
That's me.
All right, Inanisara, it is your turn.
Yeah, so I'm sustaining the spell, the dancing
Yep.
light. So that's 1 action. I will move to the edge of the beach. So I guess that's second action, right? I can't see what's going on. I can't really do anything, but I will move the light so that they go into that room, so there's more light in there. And I don't know if that moving the lights actually takes an action or not.
I don't think so. It'd be part of the sustain for sure.
When you sustain, you can move them. Yeah, up to
Yeah.
60 feet. Yeah, okay. And so then as my other action at this point, I will pull out my mace to have it at the ready in case I need it.
Awesome.
In my mind, you pulled out pepper spray.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh,
It
yeah.
took me a second to kind of code switch. What are you doing? What is your build?
As all of you see the slime molds scuttling off of their bases where they were, you can see the two other, for three total, slumped figures now that the slimes have moved off of them. Go to the top, Dexter. It is your turn. What would you like to do?
So the one is now, I'd have to move up on it. I already have my weapon drawn. I'm going to, I'm going to use a stride action to move forward to
Are you
engage
climbing
slime.
onto the bank of the...
Well, when you
Oh,
put
this
it
one's been
that
cleared by
way.
fire. No, this one's been cleared by fire. You're good.
Yeah, okay.
put it
I'm like,
there.
when you put it that way, I'm still going to do it, but I'm not going to be happy about it. I'm going to climb up and I'm going to engage
It's gonna go.
moldy number 2.
Yeah.
And that'll be an attack. Let's see. That's an 8 on the die with a plus 5 to hit, so 13 to hit.
That hits.
Question, because there was a lot of things going on. When I struck it with the piercing of the sword, did it seem effective with the piercing?
You're able to, like, the slashing itself, like the weapon itself.
I'm specifically referring to the piercing.
It's
damage
not
type.
immune to piercing. It took the normal piercing damage. Yeah.
Okay. Because I've just learned that a short sword is versatile, and meaning you can change its
Ooh.
damage type between piercing and slashing.
Yeah,
So,
you had discovered that it's immune to both precision damage and to the effects of critical hits.
okay. So with that hit, it's just going to be the 1d6 plus 1, so 4 points of piercing damage. That was my second action. I'm going to go ahead and try to hit it again with a -5. That's a 15 on the die, or a 15.
That'll be a hit.
That's a 6 on the die, so a 7 more piercing damage.
Wow. Hack and slash as you cut away strands of this filamentous mold as you cut through the hyphae and sectioning it off. It still stands, however, still pseudopodally.
As I strike it with the second one, just sort of stabbing into this thing, and as I pull out the second time, I look at it almost triumphantly. I look like as if I've killed it, and then I look back and realize it's still up. I may have made a mistake. And that's my turn.
All right. Pex'alily, it is your turn.
Okay. Now that Gideon has kind of moved, she feels a little bit better. She is going to move over a little though, give herself a little bit more where there isn't so much cover for these little slimy mold things. So that's her first action, and then she's going to reload, which will take another action, and then her last action will be to attack.
Awesome. Make that attack roll. You attacking the number 2 or number 3?
It'd be number
The closest
3.
one? The one farther from you?
No, number 2. Number
Okay.
2.
Yeah.
Making sure my brain doesn't want to work right now.
That's okay.
I got another 20.
Nice. So it's immune to a critical hit.
Yep.
But you get to roll for damage.
5.
The hand cannon obliterates this slime mold as it ceases to be. Gideon, it is your turn.
All right. Gideon is going to move over to be in front of that slime mold. He is going to, you see, he takes this very purposeful stance, and he's going to try and hit this thing.
Yeah, give me those attacks.
I'm using a thing,
A domain die?
Domain relic.
A domain
a-
relic.
a relic, please, because I really want to do this thing. So I've set up for it.
As you use the domain relic, you realize the stuff inside the vial is the same fluids bubbling at the top of torch.
So it's a 25 to
Ooh,
hit.
critical hit. Except it's immune to criticals.
That not.
Psych.
That is going to be a total of 14, 15 with his stance and his damage. 15 points.
What kind of damage is it? Is it all just the slashing?
Yeah. Mhm.
It's not like you're not doing like a magical damage or anything.
Actually, that's a good question. It actually does make it magical. Any strike that benefits from this damage gains the arcane trait, making it magical.
Okay, so but it's just straight up, yeah, slashing, magical slashing.
Yeah, yep.
Okay, go ahead and describe how you obliterate the slime with your single blow. Describe it
Imagine
for me.
that. Yeah, I imagine that Gideon, as he's like hacking away, coughing at, I'm sure, the horrific odor that is coming from having this mold be on fire. He's like, this was a great idea. I'm so glad we did this, as he is like slashing through the mold and cuts it down into the water as it kind of floats downstream, so further on.
Awesome, and that will end the initiative order. As you gain a sense of your surroundings, you can see fully revealed now that the slime molds have moved off of them are gaunt, half-digested corpses in these 3 mounds. They seem to be the remains of halflings. Halflings, you know, there's a team of halflings that was the first expedition below Black Hill. And they wear the garb of adventurers like yourself. At least their clothes would have looked like it had they not been half digested by these slimes.
I'm beginning to think that these other adventuring parties were not very well equipped for this adventure. They all seem to be getting killed at the entrance.
It could also be that they're inexperienced. They may not have known which way to go. They could have done like we're doing right now. I really don't like going this way. I think we should go the other way, personally. If we're gonna run into more of that.
Yeah, all right. You made your point. 1 body versus 3. We'll go with the odds.
I look in the direction of where we were heading. But when Gideon sort of capitulates and agrees with Pex, I will reluctantly turn back the other way.
Before we Gideon wants to tie something to a string, something small that floats, because he wants to send something down the river, because he wants to see if we'll meet up at any point during, like, you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
That does make sense, actually.
Yeah.
Something small that can float would be like a piece of bread. That would
I
be
was
too
gonna say
soggy. That would dissolve.
Soap.
I have, I was gonna say a soap.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say I could cut some soap.
Is
I
there
do a little
anything
cube of
on
soap.
the bodies of the halflings that look like they might float?
You mean you could use one of the halflings' half-digested boots?
Bone.
Some of their bones and flesh. That's sickening, though.
That's not what I was thinking. I was thinking more like
Possessions.
a glass bottle or, something they had on possession.
Yeah. I'm sure there's something that Gideon has on him. Like I don't know, candlestick, something.
Dexter, are you wanting to look through the remains of one of the halfling bodies?
At least the first one that's kind of at my feet.
Mhm.
As Gideon's looking through his pack, I'll kind of just investigate this halfling, quarterling.
Oh gosh. You find what you're looking for. A small a small bottle of wine that halflings are often known for taking with them, though this one is very close to empty, and it's corked and almost a perfect candidate. However, while also rummaging through this halfling's belongings, you can make for me, please, a perception roll.
You know what? I'm going to use a domain relic. I'm not going to critically fail this. And I get a nat 20 on the second roll, so
Ooh,
it was
perfect.
meant to
This nat
be.
20 is very good here. So with the success, you notice a small pouch on the side of the halfling, hidden away kind of beneath them. Where inside you can hear the jingle of coin, 12 gold and 9 silver to be exact, which is quite a bit of money.
Yeah.
But with your natural 20, with your critical success, what you also notice is that otherwise this halfling's belongings have been rummaged through cleanly. The bags and side bags that the halfling wore are empty. This contents spilled out on the ground. This halfling's been rummaged through. And the only reason why they missed this particular pouch of coin was because it was kind of underneath the halfling's body, nestled in where the mold is.
I will stand up, holding the pouch of coins in one hand and the wine bottle in the other. Gideon, perhaps this will serve your purpose. And I will toss the bottle to Gideon, and then hold up the coins. Slimes don't generally loot bodies. This body has been thoroughly searched. Most likely before the slime got to it.
So it wasn't killed by the slime? Is that what you're saying?
Inconclusive, but it was certainly at some point pilfered by someone of intelligence.
Yeah, you can't tell what killed this halfling. the rotten decay have set in way too much to find any kind of sudden death. Like there's barely even like coherent tissue
But
on this.
that is
specimen.
a fair assessment, Gideon.
Gideon's like leaning down and he's going to he is going to etch something in this bottle so that he knows that it's ours, and he's gonna send it down the river.
You know, we don't want to get it confused with all the other half-drink halfling wine
Are
bottles.
you tying it?
We
to
don't
anything?
we have no idea what's down there. All of a sudden we go, it's just a whole pile of bottles. No, he's not tying it to anything. He just wants to see, like, he kind of wants to make it big and bulky so that it might like catch on something or something. Like he just wants to like just make sure that
Gotcha. Yep.
yeah.
All right. And as you send the bottle downstream, you can see it kind of bobbing away boop, 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 as it floats, lazily carried by the current downriver. Speaking of being lazily carried, we are also going to lazily carry ourselves to a quick bio break for all of us, in which we will then resume our gameplay shortly afterwards. Welcome back. So you've all taken your little bit of a breather, sending the bottle downriver. What is it that you want to do from here? Seems that you're at a bit of a crossroads. Do you take the path along the moldy banks, or do you brave that hall of stalagmites where that stabbed half-orc lies dead, slumped? The choice is yours.
Sounds like we want to head back where the first dead body was.
Yep.
While they're doing that, like coming back to me, can we do that thing again?
You can repeat the save for second for sure. 40 save.
Oh, 19.
You are no longer second.
Yes.
I just walk by as you're dealing with that. Better out than in.
Oh. You got that right. So, not good. I take it.
Well, might be good, might not be good. We'll see.
I'm beginning to think there is no good way down here.
Also that.
And I will scramble up the embankment once again.
Yep, everyone who's scrambling up the embankment will make an athletics check, please.
8.
With the pass.
24.
That's a critical success. How do you show off to everyone else?
As I hold my hand
How
out
good
to
of a-
help Gideon up.
how do you show off how good of a climber you are to everyone else, Gideon?
Gideon just like, yeah, I don't know. It just like he doesn't even stop. He's been talking, obviously, because I think that's just what Gideon does. Is he just talks the whole time? So he's chatting about something, probably about the sword that he used, because he just used like a new ability. He's like, I didn't even get to use my new ability. Those molds should have been a little tougher, you know, and he's like talking, and he doesn't even break like his breath or his sentence, as he just like hoists himself up and onto the thing and just like almost like keeps on walking, like just as if it wasn't even there.
Pex'alily also gets a critical success. How do you critically and amazingly show off this climb.
I think watching Gideon just, very dexterously scurry his way up. You like Inanisara might see her and her whole body kind of wiggles before she kind of jumps and just claws at the cliff at the little rock side and just claws her way up. She's not gonna flourish. She's just gonna be like, I'm gonna get up here as quick as I can. And then I think what she's gonna do is she is going to pull out the rope from her climbing kit and offer it. She'll kind of throw it down and offer it as a way for Inanisara to come up.
That's perfect, because I think as you and
That makes it
Gideon,
trivial.
as you and Gideon flourished up, and Inanisara is at the bottom trying very desperately to try to move, and she's like, a little help here, please. As you can see that she can't even get her foot grasped. She rolled a 3 on that, so help would be nice.
Yeah, with the help, you're able to make it up, even with 3.
I think it's more that I barely grasp onto the
Mhm.
rope and you guys are pulling me up.
Yeah, pulled up to the ledge. You see this stalagmite forest before you. It chokes this low ceiling cavern, making it's difficult to squeeze between all these stalagmites and stalactites. They close in from this 5-foot high ceiling, giving it almost an impression of a maw of needle-like teeth that continues onwards. You can see that corpse of that halfling slumped against that stalagmite, but the cavern itself yawns ever farther in. The light you have illuminates where it becomes a very tight squeeze at the very end. You do.
I will keep sustaining the lights and putting them out forward from us a little bit to light our way ahead. But I'm staying close to probably Dex, actually, as I maybe use his bulk to help pull me forward, as I'm finding that I struggle to cross the ground beneath me.
So you, Gideon, you're weaving your way through the stalagmites, cautious, but nothing happens as you continue pressing forward through there. Uneventful, thankfully. Do you hear what's beyond this tunnel?
Mm-hmm.
The edge of your light and the torch held aloft by your mage hand, you see what begins to be a massive dark cave opening up in this area. You can see a rocky shore with some placid pool lapping against the against the banks. You can see toadstools and molds going along this bank right here, all along the water's edge. And you hear the sound of splashing coming from deeper within. I don't know if my little marker shows up when I do this.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, we might have some more company. Gideon kind of doesn't call back, but says back.
I'm going to preemptively draw my crossbow.
I will get my sling ready.
Let's say I think Pex'alily is going to be loading her hand cannon and getting that ready.
Gideon is gonna have his sword, and we'll see.
Okay, all of you are drawing your weapons. You do next.
Can we sneak forward?
You certainly can try. You can roll a stealth roll, please.
Ooh.
Oh, for the love of everything holy, I think I've rolled under 10, like all but one die roll. That's a 6. So I'm sorry. As I try to grasp and crawl along the ground, I somehow managed to knock something really loud, like a stone, and kick it or something, because, yeah.
Ooh. Right. Let's see. So we have 18, a 10, a 6. So what did you get, Gideon?
And
None of you could beat. None of
You
you rolled
can
high
certainly
enough.
try, she said.
You hear this strange growling sound. It's a weird, almost croaking sound. It is snarling in the distance, coming from right here. And then you hear a splashing sound. And there's nothing more. No more sound.
Whatever it was, maybe we frightened it.
I don't think we frightened it, good buddy. That could be it hiding and waiting.
I would definitely move the lights out into the closer to where the water that sound was, so we could see maybe something.
oh, you're muted.
As you stretch out your dancing lights, you can see the same rocky coast with the toadstools and moss and mold growing along its edge. But the source of this sound you do not see.
What's off to the right there, Gideon?
Gideon is going to peek around the corner.
You see the tunnel continue on deeper, ever still.
Your
This
token
one-
moved like a millimeter. That was,
Yeah.
that was hilarious.
I just wanted to make it clear
That you
where
were
he
peeking.
is. Yes.
You see the tunnel go down deeper, slanted ever slightly to go deeper into the depths of this cave.
To the northeast, continuing down that bank, does it end or does it continue?
It continues, but the lights does not. We cannot see beyond the light's edge.
Well, it appears as though we're at another impasse.
If you would like to hold here, I will investigate carefully.
You think that's wise in your condition?
My condition is fine. I can still run.
Can everyone please put their perception bonuses in the chat for me, please? Just for no reason at all. Okay, thank you.
And I'm going to try to move past Gideon if you'll let me.
Mhm.
Otherwise, I'm going to stand right
Mhm.
here.
Yep.
My
Yeah, Gideon can
intention,
move.
my intention is to very carefully and quietly make my way around here so I can investigate, see what I can see.
Because of your low light vision, you're able to see that the tunnel just stretches onwards. How far of vision do you have? Low light vision is how far?
You can see in dim light as though it were bright light, and you ignore the concealed condition due to dim light.
Okay, so
So dim light,
would
I mean,
be
that's all it
stretching out.
says.
Yeah, okay. So honestly, your low light vision wouldn't really offer much here, but I'll reveal that. Oops. I'll reveal that the tunnel continues.
And my intention is to keep stealthing forward until I see a change.
Awesome. Yeah, you can keep. I'll go ahead and you can see that the tunnel opens up as you get to about here.
All right. I want to move until I can see what's in that area, if I can see anything.
Make it per. So you have a plus
I have a +6.
+6. You have a +6. Okay. You notice. Do you have a light source on you, like a torch?
I do. I don't currently have it lit, but I have a
Oh,
torch.
okay. Sorry. So you're not using light right now.
No, I'm not.
Okay. Yeah.
Well,
So you.
I'm an investigator, which implies a certain degree of intelligence. So I think it would make sense to light a torch.
Okay.
I still have 4 of them. So yes, I will light a torch.
You see a dividing path ahead of you where 2 more paths trail off from this quote-unquote crossroads. But you can see in that far wall there's a collection of crates, boxes, rubble, scavenged metal, all lying heaped in that northwest section of this damp cave. You see several strange chalk drawings of twisted, spiny plants, a strange 3-legged creature, and emaciated 4-armed humanoids marking those walls. That is referring to this area over here.
Okay. And then it continues to the southwest and the southeast.
Yep.
I have seen enough. I will go back and report to the others what I have seen.
In the meantime, what were the rest of the party doing as Dexter ran off investigating the southern parts of the map?
Gideon wants to go to that like northeast part.
Mhm.
Wants to just have a look.
So you bring the light forward. You can see more opening up just ahead of you.
I think
There is
Pex'alily would follow Gideon because she doesn't want him to be alone.
a massive dark cavern opens up here, filled with a big, massive pond of high vaulted ceiling, being fed by a little trickle of water leaking from a narrow fissure to the north, which is the second source to this pond. And you see kind of bobbing, floating, is your bottle tied with rope and such to float in the center of this pond.
Well, that didn't go very far, he says.
And then you can look to the left to see the rest of the river.
Gideon is gonna approach the pool. He wants to look in it, but not be right there.
Make for me, please, a fortitude saving throw. Let's see how far. Oh, everyone, all three of you, please make a fortitude saving throw.
I'm sorry. 22.
Nine.
Awesome. So everyone but Gideon failed. We don't have to worry about Dexter because Dexter is too far away. Okay, so Gideon, you are dazzled for the next round. And Pex'alily and Inanisara, you are blinded as emerging from the water, these massive spotlight beams emerge from the water depth as water pours off the figure of this thing, but they flash, strobing, just obliterating your eyeballs and your senses. The two glowing eyes of this creature that emerges out from the water. Getting you able to shield your eyes just a little bit quick enough to not get the full blinding effect, but you're still dazzled. The other two of you, you are completely blinded and disoriented. Your brain turned into disarray from the massive strobing lights of this creature's eyes. As we roll initiative,
I
please.
really hate this place.
You can roll initiative too, Jake, as you can hear the commotion happening from the north. As the creature goes like growling as it lunges out from the water. That's 16. Okay, so it goes Dexter, Pex, Monster, Inanisara, and then finally getting last. Interesting. Dexter, you are first to act in initiative. What do you want to do? As you hear the croaking and growling from the cave to the north of you.
So I
Your
have a movement
companions
of
were?
25, so I believe I can just make it to the opening to see into the cave where they all are.
Kind of. Yeah, you can get to about here. 25 with one move.
All right, I will use 2 actions then. As I hear the commotion, don't go off by yourself, Dexter. Something might happen. And then I'll use my 2 actions to make it up into here, kind of bracing myself against the wall, and I already had my crossbow drawn, so I will use my 3rd action to fire on the creature if I can see it.
And you can. Unlike the rest of your companions, you can see it clear as day. It is a creature that is almost shaped like a massive toad crossed with a lizard. Its skin is pale and almost translucent. It has these massive, oversized, bulbous eyes that glow. You can see them they're no longer strobing now. They're just emitting a faint glow. And you can see tattered around its neck. There is a bit of tattered leather that hangs from its neck, as well as a strange-looking scar, almost a brand, on its flank, like a burn injury on its flank in the shape of a symbol. That was 2 actions to move up to here.
Yep.
What
So I
would
will
you do
use
for
my 3rd
action?
action to fire my crossbow.
All right, make that attack roll, please.
13.
13 misses.
Glancing.
Glancing effortlessly off of its scaly armor, scaly hide.
As I emerge and right before I take the shot, I just look towards the others. Don't worry, I am here to protect you. And I miss. And that is my turn.
Oh, being blinded reduces your initiative. Ooh. Okay, so it'll go it and then
Mine already took that into consideration
Oh,
when
okay.
I rolled. Yeah.
I was
Did
gonna
you as
say
well?
mine did the same thing, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because it was originally it would have been 21, but
Never mind. Okay,
with
cool.
the -4.
I'm glad that I guess you have a little toggle on your character sheet that'll do that for you. That's kind of cool. So Pex'alily, it is your turn. You're blinded. You cannot see
Oh.
at all. Your eyes are just on fire from
My
the
eyes
strobing light.
no worky.
Everything is it's like staring into the sun. Your vision is completely obscured. What do you want to do?
Yeah. I have no way to get rid of this blinded thing. I mean,
Oh, I misread the ability. As you're stepping in, Jake, to fire your crossbow, you'll also have to make a fortitude save, as the eyes are still strobing.
Okay.
But we'll
Fortitude.
say that the attack happened, but you'll have to
Okay.
roll.
Fortitude. I'm going to use a domain relic. I'm also going to switch dice. It's only slightly better. Fortitude of 11.
Okay, you're also blinded, right?
Explain,
I think
explain
as
why.
you're taking the shot, it misses, and it comes whizzing its head around. The strobing lines up perfectly with you, and it blinds you. Okay, so then now it's your turn. Excellent. Sorry.
oh no, you're fine.
Mhm.
Can she turn around and just kind of like rub her eyes to try and get this strobing to stop? Because I don't see her being able to fire a weapon because she can't see where she's firing it.
Yeah, so I don't think that you can do anything to get rid of the blinded condition
Oh no,
except for wait
this
for it to wear off.
yeah, that
Okay.
I just mean she's gonna turn around so that way she's not in the way of it, like she's not staring at it again when it finally goes away.
Gotcha. Okay, you turn away, shielding your eyes, hoping for it to wear off.
Yes. And that's I just see that's all she can do.
All right, awesome. That will then bring it to its turn as it pounces out of the water, landing on the rocky shore right next to you, Gideon. As it will make, so it's used one of his actions. It will attack you, Gideon. Because it's concealed from you. Does that give any benefits? Because you're dazzled. No, but okay. It's okay. Cool. It means that you can't hit it as easily. All right, it'll make 2 attacks against you. The first with its jaws, with its big jaws, and then it'll do a claw swipe. So that's going to be a critical hit against you with its jaws.
That's Is that bludgeoning, piercing, or slashing?
Piercing. As it clamps at you with its bite. With
Piercing, nicked an artery, normal damage. The target takes 2d6 persistent bleed damage.
Ooh. The bite itself is going to do a measly 3 points of piercing damage. However, it gets you right in your leg artery, whatever it's called. Not your femoral artery, but the other one. Your carotid?
Carotid, I think.
Yeah,
is
right in the carotid artery. As well as it uses its claw to rake you with its last action. That's going to be a 15 to hit, which I believe misses you.
That
Yeah.
makes sense, yeah.
Says it, all right, that will be its turn. Its eyes are still strobing. And Inanisara, you are blinded. What do you want to do? You're muted.
Okay, now that you can hear me, I'm blinded, not mute.
Mhm.
Forgot about that. So Anasara is gonna definitely close her eyes. Like this, she hates this place. This is like the worst, I think. But what she's gonna do is she's gonna use her ability as a whisper elf to close her eyes, but open her ears, if you will. And I would like to use the seek action to try to figure out what this creature is. And I get to use it in a 60-foot cone versus 30-foot. And I also get a +2 bonus in while doing this.
So you have to find out where it is what you're saying?
Yeah, I'm going to try to use my hearing to
Okay.
figure out where it is.
All right, give me that roll then, please.
What is that roll? Is
It'd
that
be perception, right? The blinded gives you a -4.
but this is a hearing, but blinded
Yeah,
only
yeah,
gives
so-
it for vision. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll temporarily take off blinded. I will roll
Let me just make sure.
and add 2. Oh, this dice suck. I hate this roller. So it'd be 13.
If vision is your only precise sense, then you take a -4 to all perception rolls. Yeah, okay. So yeah, you will be rolling perception at -4, but with that circumstance bonus.
It's yeah.
Okay. You cannot tell where it is.
Okay, so because I cannot tell, I'm going to, no, that's it. I think I'm going to, I don't know where it is. I'm going to back up so my back is against the wall. So at least I know where I am at one point. And then
Okay,
that's
you can
the end
so you
of
can move at half speed to do so.
Yeah, and I only have 2 actions at this point anyway. I'm still holding up the dancing lights, but I think that'll go down.
All right. Gideon, it is your turn.
So this thing is right up on me, right?
Yeah,
That
right
from
in
the-
melee with you. You are
Okay.
dazzled, which means it's concealed
Okay.
from you, which means you have a flat check 5 to be able to even interact with it. And you're taking persistent damage at the end of your turn, question mark?
Yeah, he's gonna try
Yeah.
and stop it.
Okay. Jake, you are blinded.
So that's a flat 15.
So you can only do the sorry. So you're taking action to stop the bleeding before you take the damage? Is that what's going on?
No, you take the persistent bleed damage at the end of your turn. Then you can attempt a DC 15 flat check to overcome it, but only at the end of your turn.
Okay, assisted recovery. You can take steps to help you recover from persistent damage, allowing you to attempt an additional flat check before the end of your turn. It requires 2 actions to do so. And it requires you doing something that would obviously help out the injury. So imagine like you like binding your leg or something with
I think
with
like a
rudimentary bandages
tourniquet.
would work. Yeah, exactly.
Literally,
So it would take you 2 actions to do so, but gives you an immediate roll you can do right away.
Yep.
And then it gives you another action afterwards.
Yep. That's what I am going to do because 2d6 is a scary amount of damage.
Yeah. All right, roll a flat check then for me, please.
That was a 4.
Yeah, that's a fail on your tourniquet. So you've used up 2 of your actions. What do you want to do for your last one?
Try.
All right, then it ends your turn. I'm kidding.
He is like trying to like stop himself from bleeding out, and you can see that he is like he's putting up his hand, and as he does so, you can see like this very shaky looking
Oh, do you actually have a third action because of your mage hand?
Oh, yeah, no, you're right. Well, yeah, no, you're right. He does
Yep.
not.
Okay, so then you will take
2d6.
you'll take 5 points of bleed damage, and you can do another flat check.
Ouch. Oh, that's a 2.
Yeah, you are still bleeding. We go to the top of the order. Dexter, you are blinded. What do you want to do?
I have several smart ass things I want to say to Gideon, but I can't see that he's failing his checks. So I'm blinded, and I believe Kaeryn did something similar. Do I have to basically try to listen to see if I can figure out where it is?
Was that a specific elven thing that you did? I think it was, Kaeryn.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
because I'm a whisper elf. It says my ears are finely tuned, so I
Okay.
can, as long as I can hear normally, I can use the seek action.
So I'm unclear then on how this works, because there's no like disadvantage for attacking something you
Yeah.
can't see.
You can't detect anything using vision, which means you probably can't. You can't.
I
you attack
mean,
something that you can't detect.
well, wait,
Probably get
no,
a-
it is covered
Attacking
because
and
it's, if I'm blinded, it's concealed from me, correct?
It's more than concealed from you. Let's see, attacking invisible creatures.
I also want to say, like, my the way it's worded here, it says as long as I can hear normally, I can use the seek action to sense undetected creatures in a 60-foot cone instead of the 30-foot cone, and I get a +2 bonus when doing so. So I'm assuming that other people could do it as well. They would just not have as the range I have.
Okay. So you have to use the seek action to be able to tell where it is, which
Yeah.
makes sense. And then you can, yeah, okay. So let's look at the seek action. Seek.
So I have, that's basically, I'm just using seek in order to make the perception check, correct?
I'm trying to load it right
Reading
now.
it.
My Chrome is freezing.
It's what Kaeryn just said. You can scan an area. If you're looking, if precision is necessary, it can reduce from 30 to 15. Search for object. It doesn't specify. The language it keeps using, though, is looking and sight-based. I will.
Oh, so maybe this just allows me to use that action, but with hearing instead of sight, which is
Mhm.
I will. There's not a whole lot else I can do.
Yeah, I'm trying to look like, okay, yeah, attacking invisible creatures in Pathfinder 2e.
So I think.
Okay, I found someone made a handy cheat sheet. Okay, so if they're hidden from you, which this thing is, to target them, you have to beat a flat DC 11 check. So it's like concealed, but worse.
Okay.
Instead of DC 5, it's DC 11.
I rolled a 10. So I can't locate this thing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm gonna hold where I'm at. I mean, I'm not holding an action or anything. I'm just staying where I am, and I'm just listening.
Everyone is flat-footed to this thing too. What does that mean?
-2 to AC, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, -2 circumstance to AC.
Cool. Okay. All right, that was Dexter. At the end of your turn, the blindness will wear off on you, and you notice now that your eyes have kind of gotten adjusted to the strobing of this creature. You are immune to the strobing lights of this creature's eyes now,
Who
or at least
is?
temporarily. You are.
Oh,
Jake, Dexter, as your vision comes back. Pex, it's your turn. You are still blinded.
Yeah, the seek action really has me messed up, so I'm not even gonna attempt to try that. I think with her eyes she's still blinking, like trying to blink as rapidly as she can, in order to get this blindness to go away. But she's also making sure she's, making sure her hand cannon is loaded, and she's making sure everything's okay there. Because at the very least, she knows her hand cannon well enough where she can know by touch that it's still loaded. I also think she might try to like take a step or two. She's already kind of up against the wall. Oh yeah, we're just waiting out the blindness.
Okay. That ends your turn, and it goes to the creature's turn then. It tastes the blood on your leg, Gideon, as it chomps down even harder, ripping at your leg. It's going to make an attack against you with its bite, with its jaw attack. It's going to get 18 to hit against you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to deal. Oops, that's a d20. That's not the right damage roll. When I came up with a bigger number than I'm saying, that's going to be 13 piercing damage from the bite.
All right. Yeah, Gideon is dying. 1.
All right. The creature will then stumble toward, not stumble, like pounce over you, to the next one, Pex'alily. Actually, no, Gideon, you're the one that shot it, so it's going to attack you. With a claw attack, with a rake, a swiping claw. So because you are blinded to it, you are flat-footed to it, which means that you're a -2 AC to the attack.
Sorry, you said Gideon. Are you meaning
By
Dex?
Gideon, I mean Dex, yes, sorry.
All right, Talmud, let's go.
Yeah.
Right.
That's going to be 19 on the die for a total of 22 to hit your flat-footed AC.
That is a hit.
Is that a critical hit?
It is not. I have a 17 AC.
All right. And that will deal 7 points of slashing damage to you. With a big rake across your chest, through your armor and through your clothes.
That will also make me unconscious and dying 1.
Inanisara, it is your turn. You are blinded.
I'm
What would you like to
blinded,
do?
but am I hearing any of this?
Yes, you're hearing all of this happening. This
Okay.
you're hearing the death screams of Gideon. You're hearing the growls of this creature. You're hearing the raking from Dexter. So you know that it's like nearby, and it's absolutely eviscerating your companions. What do you want to do?
I want to I'm going to drop dancing lights. That's not going to happen anymore. So it's gone. And I'm going to use my 3 actions to cast heal. Basically, I'm dispersing my positive energy in a 30-foot emanation. So I'm doing it towards where I hear Gideon and Dex, that direction. It'll target all living and undead creatures in the burst.
Okay.
So, and if they're willing and still alive, they will each get a D8 hit points.
Sweet. You can roll the hit points that they get then. This will heal the monster too, but it hasn't taken any damage yet.
Okay, so first person gets 4, because I don't think I get any bonuses. I think it's just a straight D8. The next one gets 3. And I guess, I mean, I don't know who else.
Who's in what? Who's getting which of those numbers? I guess I'm first in the line that you're healing, so I'll take the 4.
and then 3 will go to the next person. And Pex'alily, are you hurt at all? So then it doesn't even do anything to you. And you said the creature was not hurt?
Yep, correct.
So it doesn't do anything. And that's my 3 actions.
Okay. Your vision clears. As you can now finally see. And you, like Dexter, are now immune to the strobing lights of this creature. At least temporarily. Gideon, it is your turn. You are no longer dying because you got hit points. Is that how that works?
Right.
Yeah, I'm just double checking because I do believe that we gain the wounded condition.
Yeah,
though.
wounded
We
one.
gain wounded.
Am I still bleeding?
Yes, you are.
Does the healing not help with that?
Ooh, okay. That's a good question. Persistent damage. Did the critical hit card tell us when it fades away?
No.
That's what it would say. No, it
Nope.
didn't say.
Persistent damage. Because it's
It
a
only
different
ends-
type of damage. As I read it, it can only be healed by that flat check. Or by assisted checks.
Okay, so you'll automatically recover from persistent damage if you're healed up to full hit points.
Yes.
Okay, so that's when it'll go away automatically. Otherwise, right now you still have the bleed on you.
I'm also wounded.
Mhm.
I'm trying to push a lot
You
of
are
buttons.
prone but conscious but wounded but bleeding. You're no longer sustaining your mage hand, so your torch is lying helpless on the ground, but you have a full complement of actions.
Super. He's gonna stand up.
That's one
Um,
action. Mhm.
I am so sorry. I am just reading the spell, but because I use 3 actions, that hit points that they each get an additional 8 hit points on top of the 4 that I rolled.
Oh. I knocked
Do
that
not
out.
apologize for that.
Well, I'm sorry I
That's
didn't read
great.
it forward. Like,
Oh,
yeah.
much better. Gideon is feeling great. Still bleeding, but
Didn't work.
better. Gosh, what is Gideon gonna do? I don't know. Gideon is gonna hit this thing. 100% is gonna. Yep.
Give
I
me
think
that
that's
attack
the
roll.
move. First he's going to make his little stance that charges up his sword with another action, and then he's going to hit it.
All right, make that attack roll. It is yours. I think you're still dazzled. Oh no, the dazzling ended. Yeah, you're no longer dazzled.
Okay.
So you can just do it in a normal roll.
21.
That hits.
Hooray. Then that is going to be 1 second. 11, 13 points.
All just
Magical slashing.
Magical slashing. Cool. All right. You do a vicious blow against this creature as it like growls and hisses at the bite of your metal. That's your turn. That's all your actions. Dexter, it is your turn. You are no longer blinded.
No longer blinded. No longer dying.
Wounded 1, and you are prone on the ground. What do you want to do?
I am going.
Sorry. Hold up. Gideon, you're gonna take some damage from your bleed.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You're gonna take 12 points of bleed damage, as I rolled maximum.
Oh my god. No.
And then you may roll a d20.
I'm dying again.
Well, you still make the d20.
Okay. That's an 11.
Right. So you are now dying 2 instead of dying 1.
Correct.
Mhm.
Right. Now it is your turn, Dexter. As you are prone, conscious, wounded.
I am going to, since I'm already prone, I am going to use, I believe when you fall prone, you drop, when you die, you drop whatever you were holding.
Mhm.
So I'm going to reach over as an action and grab my crossbow from the ground next to me. Staying prone, I'm going to take aim, devising a stratagem for a second action. So pre-roll that. That is a natural 20 when I do attempt to attack. And I get to add my intelligence modifier. So my third action will be to attack this creature. That is a 28 to hit with the benefits of this devise a stratagem. As part of the action, I totally forgot I had this. I can attempt a check to recall knowledge as part of this action just to see if I can figure out a weakness this thing has.
Awesome. Make that recall knowledge. It would be nature, or
Okay.
just unspecified lore, whichever one it is.
Yeah. I have to critically succeed at that for it to be any benefit, and I rolled a 3. However, the 28 you said was a hit?
28 is a critical hit, actually.
Oh, nice.
10 above the AC.
So that'll
More than 10.
That'll be double damage. I'm going to randomly grab a card that's ranged. Piercing. It says for piercing, triple damage. How I don't know if this thing's immune to it, but the crit effect is it is dazzled until healed.
It is immune to the dazzling.
Of
No,
course.
sorry. No, it wouldn't be, because this isn't from light. It's not being caused by light.
Because
So it is dazzled.
it's basically doing what I wanted to do. Is I imagine hitting it right in the eyes.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And that's
So
going to
triple
be
damage.
and because I did my devise a stratagem, I also get my precision d6. So triple damage would be, let me get my damage dice here. So the first roll, that's 7, 8, 9. Plus another 9 is 18. Plus another 9. So 27 points of piercing damage. As this just goes straight into a Skyrim follow cam of the crossbow bolt as it sails across at this thing. I don't know if it's a kill cam,
Describe
but
to me the kill shot.
oh, okay. Seeing that now that I can see that this thing has taken Gideon down, I think that's what made me roll over and take the time to take this shot. And maybe even taking right before I take the shot to add that precision to it, just sort of licking my finger and running it across one of the flights on the bolt just to give it that little extra spin. And I imagine this thing turning its head, and it kind of, if I remember correctly from the image, it had like multiple eyes across its head. Basically just going in one eye and out the other side of its head, this bolt.
As you puncture through its brain, it just slumps down, falling like limp meat onto the ground. Soon after, the eyes go dim. The vision returns to Pex'alily and Inanisara. But Gideon, however, you can take. No, you are dying, and so we're going to stay in initiative order until the dying is not solved. Pex'alily. Sorry. Yeah, the blinding fades off from you. What do you want to do, Pex?
When the blindness finally fades, she rubs her eyes a little harder than she probably should, and it makes them hurt. She looks around and she blinks for a second. She goes, what the hell happened to Gideon? She starts trotting over to Gideon's body. She's not a healer, but she's gonna try and... We're in initiative order, so movement, so action would be, I guess she might pull out some, like start ripping cloth and trying to wrap up a wound.
Yep, so you can make a flat DC 15 check.
Okay.
Unless you have a relevant medicine kit or healing kit.
Can you make healing checks without a healer's kit?
No, this will be just some kind
I
of
was-
like
I was gonna say just like,
this will be the someone else desperately trying to assist the recovery.
yeah, assisting in the recovery.
Which is very, so it takes 2 actions to do, and is very difficult.
At a 17.
Which is enough. Describe for me how you fashion some kind of temporary but sufficient healing for this.
She is like, she has no idea how healing works, but she just knows that she's bandaged her own wounds before. So she's just ripping up like an old shirt and wrapping it around his wound, but she's trying to be careful, but she might have tied it a little too tight. She's not sure. She's not sure how Gideon works. So she's like, oh no, but I gotta get this done. And then she's like calling out, can anybody help this?
I do not have healing.
Inanisara, it is your turn. The blinding wears off. What do you want to do? I guess we're no longer going to be initiative order because Gideon's oh, actually no, Gideon's still dying, right? Yeah. Just the bleeding has stopped.
The persistent is stopped.
Yeah,
the persist-
damage stopped.
okay.
Okay, yeah, so Gideon's still dying.
Gideon is still dying. So I will go over there and I will cast Stabilize so that Gideon loses dying and will be unconscious at 0 hit points.
How long does Gideon stay unconscious then?
Until
Is
I
like
guess
is it the 1d4 hours thing like in D&D?
It isn't.
Ooh.
When you stabilize, does that prevent them from... It doesn't say if it prevents them from getting the wounded condition.
No, it just means they lose the dying condition. So
Right.
that means they'd be wounded 2 at this point, I guess. Or however that works.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then they have to heal the wounded, but I can't heal wounded with magic. That has to be done with the treat wounds, which I don't have.
I'm looking at unconscious right now. Uh, 10 minutes. You'll return to 1 hit point. You'll pop up with 1 hit point in about 10 minutes. And so you all catch your breath here, waiting around at this bank. What do the 3 of you do while you are waiting for Gideon to recover now that he's stabilized? There is this creature's corpse, impaled by a crossbow bolt through the skull, hanging limp at your feet.
I am going to stand vigil over Gideon's unconscious body with my crossbow reloaded in case anything else comes for the next 10 minutes.
Right.
I say Pex'alily was going to do something similar. She was going to stay close to Gideon, her hand cannon ready, But I think she would ask Dexter, so did you find anything down that tunnel you went down?
I did. More tunnels, in fact. And
Oh,
signs of inhabitation. Primitive creatures, perhaps? There were cave drawings on the walls depicting diminutive creatures and four-armed creatures. A
oh,
large pile of debris at the end of a tunnel that could have been a refuse pile, but before I could investigate further, and I just gesture vaguely in the direction of this dead creature. Also, you would notice that I am speaking much clearer.
yeah, yeah. Uh, okay. It's good to have you a little bit back to normal, buddy.
I'm not used to being at the forefront of the action.
I know.
I'm an investigator. I investigate things. I don't normally attack things.
I know. Usually I'm usually the one that shoots first and asks questions later.
In the future, perhaps it would be better if you went in front of me.
Thank you. I would love to be your meat shield.
I was not implying that you would be a shield for me.
A little too short to be a shield for you. To be a shield for your legs.
My legs are the least affected part of my body. My vitals tend to be in my chest and my head.
I know. I was trying to make a joke. Jokes are difficult. I forgot.
I do not possess what is, I believe, called a sense of humor.
I don't know. You do say some funny things sometimes.
It is most likely unintentional.
Maybe. You got this. I think one of us should go make sure Inanisara is okay.
Inanisara is sitting by Gideon's poor unconscious body, just ready to do something if it looks like his condition's going to change.
So imagine the three of you are sitting around Gideon, and then Gideon, you can become conscious at 1 hit point. Gasping for air, delirious, dizzy, disoriented, but conscious, alive, wounded too. What do you do?
Yeah, Gideon's just gonna lay on the ground for a little bit. Did we win?
I'm not sure a win condition is appropriate for this situation, but the creature is dead.
Creature's dead. We're all alive. That's a win. He says this. He kind of lifts up his hand weakly into the air.
From the place that you're resting, you can see the corpse of this strange frog-adjacent creature. Its haunch is near your face. You can see on its flank that strange burn mark in the shape of a strange symbol, as well as the tattered leather around its neck. What languages can you read?
Where is that information?
What languages do people know?
So I have Aklo, Common, Elven, and Alet.
You are unable to recognize what the symbol means on the flank of this creature.
Androphin, Goblin, Orcish, and Yasaki.
Also, you cannot.
Where would you
Yes.
find that? Sorry.
Details.
details. I have Hallett, Undercommon, Yosaki, and the Elven language.
You are able to read this.
Oh no.
Text. It is written in Undercommon. A simple symbol, a simple word, cauterized and branded into the flank of this creature. The Undercommon word for pet.
Okay. Pex'alily is gonna get like this weird look on her face. And eventually she'll kind of move up and she'll trace this brand for a second. I see you're thinking, do y'all know how to read this? Because I'm pretty sure I do. But if there's a second opinion, I'll take it. But if there's not, I can.
I am fluent in over 6 forms of communication, but I do not know this one.
Okay.
Pex'alily.
It is undercommon. It means pet. This is somebody's pet.
That's
Well,
absurd.
I do not want to meet the somebody.
What do you mean that's absurd? A lot of people have pets.
Having a vicious creature of this creature's nature as a domesticated companion fits the definition of absurd.
To us, maybe.
Not if
Well, I
you're
have a
more-
feeling we also just pissed off whoever pet that is.
Yeah, we did kind of come into its domain. Oh,
Who had that +7 perception? The highest
I
one?
did.
All right, Pex, as you're talking, you're facing the water, and you see something get dislodged from below the water and rise to the surface, bobbing, bloop, coming to the surface, and float gently um, on the waves, to brush lazily and limply against the rocky shore. A torso,
Okay.
half eaten.
Okay. Um, I imagine that it's as Pex'alily is kind of stepping back during this conversation of us disturbing the pet and making the pet mad, that in her peripheral she sees something kind of wash up onto the shore and she sees the bubbles float up. And so she turns, and as she turns, that's when she sees this torso come up onto shore, and hand instantly on her head and covering her eyes. She said, "Oh shit! There's a chest. Not the kind that we would like. That's filled with nice and good things. There is a chest without a body over there that just kind of bubbled up from the water."
I will go take a look.
A cursory look at it, you can tell that this once armored corpse has been mostly eaten. Though the little bit of armor that of like chain links and leathers that strap it together keep it kind of intact still. The belly has been ripped open and eaten alive. Not sorry, I don't eat alive, but like eaten, devoured, as well as like the limbs and the head. Because it's kind of like just like a turkey carcass left over after everyone's picked through it, but a human being. The only thing intact is the scraps of armor around the outside of the body, and a small belt pouch fastened to where the hips would be if they were intact. This belt pouch happens to be mostly intact.
I am completely undeterred by the state of this body. And I will attempt to retrieve the belt pouch.
Yep, it's a easy feat to do. Inside, you can hear the jingle of coins as well as the sloshing of a potion. You open it up, and inside, you'll see a potion inside. 11 gold pieces and 7 silver, as well as a silver holy symbol that is shaped like a very malicious, malevolent skull. Definitely not a very, very wholesome looking religious symbol.
You said there was a potion?
Yep, a singular potion. Inside of the pouch as well is the cork of what would be a second potion, but this implies that the owner of this pouch has quaffed one of these potions before. This is their second one, their backup.
Is the potion recognizable?
I think so. I think in Pathfinder you like auto identify potions. I'm not sure.
I do not know that.
Identifying potions. Pathfinder 2.
While Vi's looking that up, this is a sort of a meta question for the group because we didn't really discuss this, but I do believe from our first session we're kind of adventurers in it for the loot as part of it. So is it fair to say then that we have an agreement to split any findings?
Mm-hmm.
All right, I will keep track of those. For later dissemination.
Right. You can make either a crafting check or a Arcana, Religion, Occultism, or Nature check to identify this potion.
Arcana,
Ooh, I
nature,
could do
or religion.
Arcana.
Or Occultism. Or crafting.
I also have a special ability that allows me to do something with something that is Arcana, I believe. So let me just look that up real quick here.
While Inanisara is figuring out whether or not they can identify it, I'm going to attempt to. I'm just going to hold it up, sort of do the peering at it with Arcana. That's a dirty 20.
You can identify this as a healing potion, specifically a lesser healing potion.
Ooh, that's better, right? Than minor.
Yeah,
Correct.
I'm still not positive on what the potions are, and
it goes minor, then lesser, then standard, or whatever. So this is one tier above a minor healing potion.
I will hand the healing potion to you, Inanisara, since you are our oracle. Simply with the words, "I'm not a healer."
Neither am I. Here, Gideon. You need this.
Actually, yes, that makes perfect sense.
Gideon's gonna drink it like right away.
I forgot you only had 1 hit point.
Gideon is like watching Dex just hand the potion to someone else and just like
that scene in Willow when Mad Mardigan's in the cage and like reaching for the water.
Internal crying.
As you hold this healing potion in your hand, this is a expensive potion. This is a 12 gold piece worth potion, and you're about to drink it all back to heal your injuries. 2d8 plus 5 hit points is what you'd heal by drinking this potion. You go ahead and roll 2d8, add 5.
Oh, rolled an 8. Oh, rolled a 7.
So that's 22 hit points that you heal.
I am
Sorry,
back
8
up
and
to
7 and
full.
5. So that's 20. So you heal 20 hit points.
Yeah, Gideon looks great. He feels great. He stands up.
Does that get rid of some of your wounded?
Yes.
Does it?
Full hit points and rest for 10 minutes.
We will take 10 more minutes and rest.
So I will remove your wounded condition. Oh, and you're conscious, so I should have turned that off too.
Great.
I did figure out that based on Pathfinder 1 and also kind of looking at the 5e economy, Pathfinder 2 is approximately only 10% of the other economy.
As in 10 things are 10 times more valuable.
As in this 100 or 12 gold pieces in Pathfinder is equivalent to 120 in D&D.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
Also you can make a religion check.
On
for this
the
holy symbol.
on the holy
So
symbol.
sorry, the religious symbol, excuse me, because it's very unholy.
Do I
You can believe that.
19.
Ooh, this is going to be a pass. This is a religious symbol of the god Xiphus, a malignant god of accidental death, a god of tragedy, a god of accidents.
With absolutely no sense of irony or anything, I'm gonna hand this to Gideon, the god of accidental death. I don't know if you can do anything with this.
I love that Gideon doesn't know what it is. And he's like, oh, thanks, Dex. That's nice of you.
It is a holy symbol of
You-
Xiphus, the god of accidental death and tragedy.
Huh. He like drops
would-
it.
You would know from this religion check as well that those people might seek penitence with Xiphus if they have some kind of grief or suffering from a tragic loss.
It is often a symbol by those who have experienced tragedy in their lives.
Are you saying my life is tragic, Dex?
I don't think so. I'm saying that some find comfort, those who believe in and worship the god of Xiphus.
He like looks down at where he has dropped it.
Does it have an intrinsic value? Yep.
Yeah, it's very ornately made. It's a silver religious symbol, so it's worth quite a bit. I
If
can- yeah,
If you're not interested in the benefits of the god Xiphus, it may have value if you melt it down.
Excellent idea. He like is gonna take a handkerchief and pick up the object.
I'm dating myself here, and I'm hoping most of you will get this. It's like the tiki idol in Brady Bunch. I see a very blank look from Em. Do you have any idea what I'm talking about?
None.
It's fair because this is like a 30 or 40-year-old reference, so.
Yeah, he like picks it up and he's gonna put it in his pack.
and so there's only one way to go down this tunnel.
And during all this time, while we're resting up, bringing Gideon back up, I will also fill Gideon in on what I told Pex and Inanisara about what I found at the end of the previous tunnel.
And so, as you prepare yourselves to travel down this tunnel, that's where we're going to be ending our session. As you make your way down this tunnel to that fork, quote unquote, in the road, where the chalk drawings on the wall with the rubble are, where all of you feel like you're being watched. And so we're ending our session. Deeper and deeper in the caves below Black Hill. Thank you, everyone.
Excellent session. I think Vi commented during the break. We liked how relatively easily and quickly combat seems to move, and the flow between combat and out of combat seems to flow in Pathfinder too. At least what I'm seeing is something I've not seen yet as a GM, is what happens when a party stays together and engages in a combat all as one group rather than 4 little groups of combat all around the map. But no, this is a lot of fun. So thank you, Vi. And thank you everyone else. Thank you to everybody who tuned in tonight. Thank you to all the lovely people who subbed and resubbed and all that good stuff, getting us some of those domain relics to use, while also supporting the channel. And if you're somebody that likes to lurk in the chat, we also appreciate you. Before we head out of here, just a reminder to join us on Thursday for our Kids on Bikes RPG. Welcome to Paradise, Michigan. And this is going to be our 9th session and the beginning of a new arc. We're going to see where these kids are going to go next, what they're going to get up to in the fictional town of Paradise, Michigan in 1980 something. And then of course we'll be back on Monday with Scribes and Scrolls. And in 2 weeks we should return 2 Tuesdays from now for another Skymetal Iron Gods, which I believe will be followed immediately the next day by our next session of Mythos Investigators Lawlerville. So lots of great games going on the channel. Be sure to check those out. And you never know when I'm going to pop up with a miniature painting or crafting stream. So follow the channel if you're not doing so already. You can catch the VODs on youtube.com/mini-terrain-domain. Before we get out of here, a huge thank you to our awesome game master, Vi, as well as our players, Kaeryn, Sara, M, and myself, without whom this just would have been Vi talking to herself for a couple hours. With that, we're going to go ahead and end the stream the same way we end every stream, and you can say it with me if you want.
Meta.